Good morning. Welcome to Bass University Live. Well, it's post Father's Day. We missed you guys last week. I hope you guys enjoyed a wonderful Father's Day. I know I did, and a lot of folks at Bass University got to spend a little bit of time with their father celebrating that holiday. It's a great one. Big shout out to my dad. Thanks, Dad. Dad took me fishing when I was 4 years old, and it changed my life forever. And I found a passion that I'm still chasing to this day. Now I'm sharing with my son. So it's pretty amazing, Rich. I know you and your pops go fishing quite a lot too, and spend a lot of time in the outdoors, man. That's pretty special.
Yep. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there for sure. Same goes for my dad. Got me, as early as I can remember being on the water. At that time we were mostly out in the ocean, but regardless, I had a fishing rod in my hand, and I went the bass direction, and he still likes to run them stripers down, but he gets out and wrangles up the bass with me quite often. So yeah, happy Father's Day to all the dads for sure.
Absolutely. Keith Poche is with us today, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna be having fun because, man, I like his style. I like the way he fishes. I know you do too, Rich.
Yeah.
He gets down and dirty, gets in backwaters and jungles and all kinds of things. And we're gonna dive into that with him today. And if that's something that you're into, man, this is the guy. This is the guy that spends his whole professional tournament career trying to find these interesting places to fish that are getting overlooked a lot of times. So looking forward to catching up with Keith and talking about that. We are brought to you by Thump Gel. Man, we have been putting this to work, Rich. Jake and I have been on the water. Of course, Jake's been a convert since the Harrisburg show, and I want to invite you guys to go check it out. This is orange. We use chartreuse a lot. Adds color, scent, doesn't come off. It's going to help you catch a lot more fish, especially in this post-spawn bite that we seem to be dealing with. Getting that extra bite or two is going to be key.
Absolutely.
So go check that out, guys. And we have our guys are everywhere. There's so much to talk about, and we're gonna talk to Keith here pretty quick, but we're gonna dive into a lot today because we've got Getting Clobbered in Fantasy Fishing by Junior, who is currently up with longtime Bass University subscriber Jared. They're catching giant smallmouth up at Thousand Islands right now. Shout out to Bass Tech Sonar and Jared and those guys. We saw some of the pictures. Did you invite them on? Are we going to be able to talk to them?
We're gonna get a little check-in from them around 11:45.
Awesome.
Pending, hopefully they got decent signal where they're at on the river. But yeah, we'll hopefully get a check-in from the boys up there wrangling up big smallmouth.
Man, crazy. And we're going to circle back on our adventure with the folks at Pure Fishing. Shout out to Berkeley and Pure Fishing. Thanks for putting that event together and having us there. Had a blast working with some of the veteran guys that some of the best anglers on the planet there, and all the new products coming out. We got a sneak peek on some swim baits, some top waters. That's about all I can say right now, Rich.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm allowed to talk about any more than that.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about too much, but it was definitely eye-opening to see the new products get put to work. There's always something just a little special about when you take a proven action, technique, shape, and then you add in just a little different element that maybe the fish haven't seen, heard, or felt. And a lot of times the reactions that you can get from the fish because of that minute difference is pretty substantial. And we got to see that firsthand. So shout out to Berkeley. Great job. Always pushing the envelope forward on new products and designs.
Thanks also to Josh Bertrand, Brandon Coulter, Justin Lucas, and Big Fish Bobby Lane, who we got a chance to spend a little time on the water with. And Lake Champlain, as always, just it's an amazing place to fish. And I want to circle back after we get done talking with Keith, because I want to hear about your experiences up there, because I got to fish with those four amazing anglers as an observer. Made a few casts, but you got to stay and really dive into the season and what's happening up there at Lake Champlain right now. So looking forward to hearing some more details, Rich.
For sure. Yeah, we'll dive into to that for sure. There was, in the last 10 days, there's been a lot of fishing going on. Rolling straight off the Chesapeake the weekend before, heading straight up there into the media event, and then right into some time for myself trying to wrangle up those big smallmouth. And there's a lot to unpack there, but we'll definitely dive in.
Well, we're having Keith on. We're talking about Backwaters, guys. Get your questions together. It's going to be a fun show. Rich, we're releasing Keith this week, correct? What's the schedule at Bash U right now?
Yeah, so we're actually releasing Keith next week. This week we're kind of going, one side of the coin to the other. This week we're releasing Drew Gill. We're titling the seminar Nico Rama. I mean, Drew is an amazing angler, and he's won a boatload of money on the Nico rig, specializing with the forward-facing sonar side of things. So if that's your jam as a subscriber, you definitely want to check that one out. But then right on the other side of the coin, guys, we're still going bass fishing. Next week, we're releasing Keith Poche, off the grid backwater bass fishing strategies. And, that's going to be another one as well. And that's not the only thing that is being released. There's been things released already right off of Keith's boat this morning. Before we even got a chance to really talk with him, Pete, we found out that there was some visitors making their way into Keith's off the grid specialized rig. And if you look close enough here,
there it is.
That's the visitor we're talking about. That is the visitor on the James River that we're talking about. So Keith has already been doing what he does this morning. So it's going to be fun to really go in with him about all this.
That's awesome. Shout out to James Taylor and Lyric Ship and Scott Van Leer. Good to have you guys with us. Hanging out at Bash University Live. And without any further ado, I know he's in the middle of practice. And man, there he is. There's the man. Thank you for taking a moment to hang with us. I know practice time is at a premium, man. I appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir. Anything for you, Pete. Appreciate you having me on.
Oh, you bet, man. Can't believe it. I mean, we got that text that Rich just showed the picture. Was that a copperhead? Was it poisonous? What the heck? Who was your visitor?
I don't know. I was up back in the jungle trying to get in a little place. The tide's up. I was trying to take advantage of it and kind of rushed through there and going underneath limbs, and man, this stuff falling everywhere. And a little old snake fell in with me. So, but I got him out pretty quick. So.
What was your method? Did you use a rod, or did you just go in there raw?
I grabbed him with my hand, just wrestle him to, in the bottom of the boat. I took some pliers and grabbed him out. Yeah. Little old bitty snake.
What kind of snake was it?
I don't know. I really don't know. All snakes are no good, in my opinion.
Yeah. Especially in a boat. Yeah.
Right.
What is that snake was mild. I'm imagining compared to some snakes that you probably run into over the years. What's the worst scenario that you found doing this deal?
Yeah. So, I mean, I see copperhead, water moccasins, all kinds of snakes, but I was going back in this little deal. It was flooded, and there was one curled up on a tree that I went right next to, and actually got hung up with the snake like within less than 2 foot from my face. So it was pretty nerve-wracking, but that's just part of what happens when you go back in the woods. And beaver dams, I jump a lot of beaver dams. Snakes love beaver dams. It's an easy access to prey. Whatever's crossing that beaver dam, they can grab pretty easily. So
that's interesting. That makes sense. The worst thing that I've ever encountered was down in your part of the country, down in Louisiana. These giant spiders that they look like they're as big as the palm of your hand. I could deal with snakes. I could fish with snakes in the boat all day. They don't bother me. But man, oh man, you put some of them big red giant bodied spiders and spider webs, man, I can't tolerate.
Yeah. That's another thing. There's spider webs everywhere. You go back in these little ditches, they've built webs across the ditch. Like you're fighting snakes, spiders. I mean, everything.
I can imagine, like, because you're the first one going through there in forever.
Right.
So
right.
all the spiders have made webs across the path the whole way. That's, man, it's giving me the EBGBs just thinking about it.
Yeah, I got a spray at my house, in my shop, my boat garage all the time because the spiders are in my boat. And then when I park my boat in my garage, they get out of the boat, then they make webs everywhere. So yeah, I fight spiders while I'm out of the water and then when I get back home.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, what about gators? You ever been like these backwaters? You ever get face to face with some giant gators?
Every once in a while. It depends on location, but mainly, further south I go, Florida, Louisiana, stuff like that. But, you get any farther north than that, it's really not a lot of gators.
You look like you're in gator safe territory right now. You're a little too far north, but
yeah,
you're on the James River, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Phenomenal place. This is my third time here. First time I came here, I finished second in the open, almost won it. But it's a phenomenal place for sure. Got some big fish.
It really does, and it's been fishing pretty good. But here's a question that I have for you. Now we're talking to you about what you're famous for is getting into backwaters and how you're doing it. But with the mapping and the Google Maps and all that stuff available, is there really any unknowns? Are you able to get off the grid these days?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of things I find, of course, by Google, stuff like that. You can go back in history on Google Earth Pro, and
Yeah,
I see a lot of places, but some of them you can't access. As far as there's no water, or it goes dry. Like sometimes some of them you just don't want to get into. But the main thing is having the right equipment. The boat is real key for me. I don't care where I go in the country, having the right boat, the small little boat I run, allows me to get to these places. They may be a place that's that everybody knows about, but they can't get there
right.
unless they have a small boat. So it doesn't get fished. It's not a high profile place that's going to get a lot of boats in there. So that's what I look for. The hardest place to find to get to, not necessarily to find, but the hardest place to get to.
I got you. Take us through your boat again. I know you've done that with us before, but it's specially built for this type of fishing.
Yeah, this one actually is a 19-foot GT series. It's a hybrid flat bottom with a partial V on the front. It's real narrow. MLF changed the rules this year to a 150 minimum. I did have a 115 Mercury on an 18-foot. Now I had to go to the 19-foot with a 150. So it's a little wider, a little longer, but it's not so much that it's hurting me to get back in these places. So, but it's fairly light. It's all aluminum, and the hull is 3/16 thick. It's the thickest boat on the market. Gator Trax does a phenomenal job. It's welded everywhere. Man, I can't tear this thing up. I've been running these boats for years now, and I jump stuff, logs, beaver dams, levees, roads. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like this boat is indestructible. So having this boat set up the way it is and built the way it is, I'm able to do and achieve some and go to places that I want to go and not have to worry about my boat or my equipment failing me.
Man, that's a tough boat, and we've seen you jump, seen you do some of this stuff, and I know, like we were talking about this last time we had you on. I think you had a winch like on the front of your boat, and did they make a Keith Poche rule and make you change some of your rigging?
Yeah, so there's a winch that's actually mounted underneath the front deck, underneath the foot pedal actually, and it's mounted to the frame of the boat, and it comes out the nose of the boat, so it's always there. Adds a little weight to the front, but it's not too bad. But yeah, so when I won that event on the Red River several years ago, there was a little ditch that I was getting into. I didn't have to winch in there, but it made it easier for me. I could push pole in there. I ended up push poling the last day just because, people were saying this or that about me pushing in there and stuff. But anyway, yeah, it does. I do have it still, but mainly I only use it for the off the grid stuff now because there is a rule now that you can't winch or do whatever. I think of it as a tool. We use tools for like a push pole, a trolling motor is a tool. We have tools that we use to for our boat to catch fish. They got trolling motors on power poles now. They got the live scope. That everybody has tools they use to catch fish. That winch was just a tool that I use to catch fish. So,
Right.
Yeah.
but they changed the rule, which is fine. It is what it is. But I don't use it in any events. I think Bass Pro Tour is the only league that still allows winching, but I never really have to use it.
Well, is it like the rule was always you could like you got to get yourself in, but once you're into a spot, you're not allowed to push yourself in other words, but once you're in, you're allowed to get out. If you get stuck, you're allowed to push yourself out. Are winches completely out? Are they?
Yeah, so
Winch yourself out?
that's a Bassmaster rule now. So yeah, you
Okay.
can't winch to access an area anymore. The Invitationals has that rule in their rules as well, but the Bass Pro Tour does it. Long as you stay in the boat and you do not winch or use a pulley system, come along, you can and you can get in there. You're legal. So no winching, no come along, no getting out of the boat.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Any
you can get out of the boat or winch out of a place.
Okay. Okay. Any other cool modifications? I mean, you've been doing this for a while. Anything else that you got rigged up there that we don't know about?
So the boat, like I said, the size of the boat's real key. It floats extremely shallow. I got a Bob's hydraulic jack plate. That's always a must. Trimming it up. Running some of these places that's real skinny. Uh, I have a low water pickup, transom low water pickup. So if I'm running rocks, really really sketchy areas, the water pickup is on the bottom of the boat. It's a little square tubing, and there's a hose connected to it that goes to the lower unit that gives it the water supply. So you're not picking up from the lower unit. So you block the hose on the lower unit. So I can jack it up extremely high, so I don't have to worry about hitting anything, and that allows me to run some of these places that are inches deep.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
We saw some guys recently. Kyle Patrick had to call an airboat to come and rescue him. I imagine you've been in that situation a few times.
I have, and man, I've done some some crazy stuff to get out of a place. But typically, a winch, as long as I have my winch is working, I can go anywhere. So there was one time I got hung in a place, a big, huge flat, like a sand flat, like I was stuck, like no water hardly. So what I did was I went I walked out and I drove my push pole in the sand and hooked my winch to it, and I would pull 20 foot, take it out, pull it out again, and push my push pole back in the ground. And that's how I got out of it. But typically there's a way to get out of these situations. Sometimes it just takes some muscle and pushing the boat.
Right.
Yeah, that's fun. Rich, we were talking about this. This sounds fun. It's like an adventure.
Yeah, it's like even if the body of water you're on in practice is like terrible, at some point, to some extent, you're just going exploring. Like that sounds fun, regardless.
Yeah, and people think that I just show up at these places and I go on a backwater and I just go whack them. It's not that way. If I could do it like that every time, I would. But a lot of lakes, rivers don't really have that opportunity. Some of them don't have the backwater, and then some that have the backwater doesn't have the population of fish in them.
Right.
A key thing that I really, really concentrate on when I'm looking at these places, or I go back in history on Google Earth Pro, is I find backwater ponds that hold water year in and year out. the deeper it is, the better it is. That means that it's going to sustain life. It never goes dry, and those fish can live and grow. And who knows how long they've been in there, but they have the opportunity to survive. It's just like a farm pond or something that it's got, 10, 15 foot of water in it. Some of them deeper than that. Some of these old gravel pits where they've dug for sand and rock. Every once in a while you'll find a ditch going to one of those, and there'll be deep water in it and be full of bass. So it's a fine line, especially depending on what type of event I'm in. If I'm in a MLF, every fish counts, or if I'm in a 5 fish event, depending on some of these places, some of them have only just a few fish in them. So it really doesn't set up for an MLF Bass Pro Tour, every fish counts. So, or I may go on one that has a few fish in it, but it has a couple big ones. That'll play into a 5 fish event. So understanding that and how many it's got and all that good stuff. And I even go back to that Red River event where when I won, I was going back in that pond. Everybody thinks I won it in there. I didn't win it in that event. I mean, in that pond, actually. I never caught a 3-pounder in there. The first 2 days, I would catch about 9, 10 pounds. And then I would go back out in the river and I caught 2, 3-pounders each day in the river. If I don't catch those 4 fish in the river, I don't win that event. I didn't have but 9 pounds the last day. End up, it was enough. I stayed in there all day. But so some of these places have fish, but they just don't have the quality of fish.
Right.
So you got to split your time out at practice, right? You've got to, digging for those back, it takes a lot of time.
Right.
Get in and out.
So like this morning, on a tidal fishery, I've got to make the most out of a high tide, because I want to see if I can get in there for one. And if I can on a high tide, is there any fish in there? Then I got to get out real quick because I don't want the tide to go down on me and not be able to get out. But so yeah, I kind of dabble in both. A lot of research. Sometimes I go the month before it goes off limits to check some of these places out just to see if you can get in them. Is there any fish in them? So when I show up, I kind of already know what the deal is, and I can kind of just run and do other stuff. So,
well, the last we talked, like you're fishing for fish that don't really see a lot of lure, so you keep it pretty basic. Like it's the ABCs of bass fishing when you get back there.
Yeah, I throw a Berkeley Pit Boss a lot, the Swamp Lord, vibrating jig. I mean, it's just really simple stuff. Yeah, like you say, the fish are really, they've just been hanging out, eating brim, eating what bait, crawfish is in there. They hadn't really seen a lure been messed with. And if you really think about it, it's almost not much difference than a guy live scoping. A lot of those fish that's way off the bank, that's just roaming, they don't get messed with a lot of times. I mean, they're getting messed with now more and more, but when they first started this live scope, a lot of them fish, some of them may never saw a lure before. They just kind of roam around and never get messed with. So it's just a technique. It's a way to target some bass, just like live scoping. I just choose to do it that way, and those guys choose to do it, go off the bank and live scope. Same thing, just different location.
How about like fishing pressure? Like since the live scope, bandwagon, are you seeing less people trying to do what you're doing?
Yeah, I believe so. And there again, depends on the time of year. Early in the year, it's a little less. More people are up on the banks and trying. But yeah, this time of the year, I very rarely have to worry about anybody. And that's why I don't mind running this little boat, because I may run 50 miles an hour, but I ain't got to worry about nobody being there when I get to my spot. I can take my time, roll up in there, catch my fish, and leave. So it's a little bit of a peace of mind knowing that I can just go somewhere and not have to worry about fishing pressure. And this day and time, so many people fishing, and you never know. You may find a place, a stretch in the main lake, and somebody's sitting on it when you get there, whether it's a local, whether it's another competitor. A lot of things is out of your control. So I try to eliminate that scenario and create an opportunity for me to just go fishing and not have to worry about anybody.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. It's obviously working. How is it working? Like, are you, like, a lot of guys are like, I hear a lot of talk. The forward facing sonar guys are mopping everything up. We've seen some guys that are shallow water guys do extremely well. in the face of that technology. Or how are you experiencing that? Is that are you staying in the game? Do you feel like you have a big advantage, or is is forward facing still dominating?
So I would say that it's still dominating in a sense. Of course, the Bass Pro Tour, we only went to one period, but man, those guys are so good at it that I mean, they can catch what they want in one period. It's just phenomenal. Of course, I've done it a little. I dabble in it every once in a while, but you got to stay true to yourself and what you do, and I feel confident fishing shallow mainly, and I feel like if I'm gonna be successful, that's what I need to keep doing. With that said, it does take some guys off the bank and it opens up some opportunities. It's just a lot slower a lot of times. This especially with the MLF Bass Pro Tour, fishing shallow can be a slow process sometimes. It ain't just sitting out there on a school and catch them, catch them, catch them. You got to work an area, run to another area, work it. It's just a process that you got to do. I mean, at the end of the day, you may be where you need to be, but you know, halfway through the day, you scratch your head like, man, I'm getting my butt kicked. But you just got to keep your head down and keep going.
Well, you're doing great. Do you like share with anybody? Like, is there another guy that's doing what you're doing where you guys might try to push each other or share
Man,
details?
No, no. I mean, of course, I'm the only one on tour that runs a boat like this,
Yeah.
and I don't talk to anybody. I don't room with anybody. I mean, very rare I talk to someone. Bobby a little bit, Bobby Lane maybe every once in a while, this or that. But no, I kind of keep to myself overall. But yeah, I mean, it's just what I do is just so specific and it takes a lot to do what I do. And like I said, you got to have the right equipment, you got to be patient, a lot of research, a lot of hard work. But I've been doing this for years now, and of course I won an event on Cherokee a couple years ago doing what I do, going way up in the creeks, going where people can't go, and that it's been working. I mean, it's been um I've been able to survive and continue my career. You know, is live scope going to stick around forever? I don't know. Maybe one day they do something else with it. But I feel like if I keep doing what I'm doing, I think I'll be okay and be successful.
What are your favorite places when you're talking about going to backwaters and doing this? Give me I mean, do you have like a top 5 bodies of water that are the funnest places that you go?
Yeah, like this week here on the James, this is 101 backwater ponds and little cuts and ditches. I mean, this place sets up really well for that. Now, time and year, I mean, it makes it a little tough in the tide. You got to be in certain places at the right time. But any place like this, tidal, the James, Potomac River, of course, Red River, the Alabama River right there where I live in Alabama. That's a phenomenal place. Got some great ponds to fish, but there's a few other lakes. Some in Texas, Toledo Bend. There's some backwaters. You just and depends on the water level too. Sometimes you go to these lakes, they're on a drawdown. You can't even access them. You can't even get near where and there's water in there. The fish are in there, but you just can't get to it because the ditches are dry. So time of year, if these lakes are full or not, really plays a factor in where I can and can't go a lot of times as well.
Well, we love the James. I've fished down there a bunch of times, and I don't know what you want to talk. I'd love to ask you about what's going on down there. It's got to be post spawn, right? They got to be done spawning down there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the water temps, upper 70s, 80 degrees. The fish are definitely done spawning. Of course, I don't want to say too much, but I got a couple of areas where I've had some bites, some little cuts, little sneaky spots, but I don't know. I'm not setting the hook. I don't know how big they are. I don't know what's going to happen, but there's definitely going to be some fish caught for sure. And the chick of course, it's always good. I don't know if I'll make that run. That's a pretty long ways in my little boat, especially if the wind blows. But
Whew.
yeah, So I mean, I'm fishing the main deal too. I mean, there's some areas where I've caught had some good bites. You know, fishing the main river. I think that's what a lot of those fish are going to pull out and they're going to get on some of that current break stuff, and feed at the right time when the tide gets right. So backwaters, I don't know. A lot of them probably pulled out, but there's still some there. Some of them live in those places, like I said, especially if they got some depth in there. But there's not much water movement. The water's hot back in those places, and they don't bite as well. So being on the main river where that water's moving is probably going to be the number one key to be successful and possibly come out on top this week.
What like I know that James is one of those rivers that the rocks stop people from navigating. I know your boat can get through a lot of wood and sand and that kind of stuff, but do you ever test it like that? Do you get up into those rocks?
Oh, absolutely. Like I was saying, that I got that low water pickup that I can run. Literally, I can run the motor completely out of the water, and I still have water pressure because of the transom low water pickup. Uh, it just depends on if there's a gap, if there's a hole I can run through. I mean, a lot of times, I mean, especially with current, you're going against current. You got to have a little gap to keep momentum to be able to push yourself through that swift water. So, yeah, I mean that's possible. I mean, just like Cherokee, when I won a couple years ago, I ran through all those rocks, jumped rock. I mean, it was crazy. That is definitely always on the table.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting because I know there's rocks up there. I've tried to get up above those rocks and I've pushed my glass boat as far as I can go up there from time to time.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing fishery. And so you're launching out of Osborne, so you guys can go. There's no restrictions.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of. No restrictions. Go anywhere as long as it ain't private. I know there's some private areas around here and some posted spots. I don't know why they're posted. I mean, I mean, I feel like I'm in Louisiana and down south. Like, I mean, I'm like, what's the deal here? I thought if it was water connected, you can go in it, but apparently not.
Yeah, right. I know there was one area there that I restricted. But Louisiana is like that, man. They cut their canals off. You can't get where you want to go there a lot of times.
Yeah, there's gates everywhere, man. Them people they own them marshes. You ain't going in there.
Yeah, that's a unique part of the country.
Yeah.
So you got this one, and what's next on the schedule for you?
Potomac River next week.
Nice.
Bass Pro Tour, and then I got St. Lawrence on the invitation. That's the final invitational, and then Saginaw Bay final Bass Pro Tour event. So, and that's pretty much it for me. As far as I got the team series, I qualified for that event, that big event on Gunnersville in October. That what's it? United. I can't remember the name of it, but you had to be the highest finisher in certain sanctioned events as long as you pay your membership. So I qualified for that. It's 500,000 first place, I believe. So that ought to be a pretty good event.
Heck yeah, I have heard about that event. I'm curious. You mentioned Thousand Islands. Do you how do you fish that derby? Like that's with the big giant smallmouth. There's a million largemouth to catch up there. How do you strategize up there?
So yeah, so typically the invitationals. Of course, I'm in the little boat this week, but
Okay.
I run a 20-foot Gator Trax strike series in the invitational. It's got a 250, runs in the 70s. It's like a regular fiberglass boat. It's faster than a lot of fiberglass boats, and it handles rough water better than a fiberglass boat. I'm passing up guys when it's rough water. So I'll probably run it for the St. Lawrence just because I've got to go so far. And typically I'll break out the ferry ones and I will get out there and drift for them smallmouth. There's so many big smallmouth, you almost have to. And of course, it's a 5-fish event. So that's what I'm going to focus on. I just can't see, this place is so vast, so big. It's hard to find the good largemouth. I mean, you may luck up, but man, I've had more luck with the smallmouth.
Yeah, it's always surprising. Like the smallest get so big. I want the largemouth to play up there so many times when I watch up there, and it so rarely happens. With the top 10, you'll get a few top 10 finishes, but I thought, it's so much fun. They're like the fish you're fishing for. They're pretty much unfished for,
Man, I do everything I can to put myself in position to win. And I feel like that's what it's going to take catch smallmouth. So I go wherever I go, I'm going to fish for whatever I feel like the winning type of fish are. Well, if we go to a spotted bass fisher, I'll fish for spotted bass. But yeah, that's why I run this little boat. I try to put myself in the best position to win at every event that I fish. And a lot of times it doesn't work out, but that's what I do. I work my butt off, and I put in the time, and I go to these places, and I lay it all on the table. But I have fun with it. It's just one of them things that I've figured it out years ago, and I said, this could be something to this. This is something that I possibly can run with and have a long career doing.
Well, it's definitely working out. We were up with the pure fishing guys, and we got to see a lot of new stuff, which we're not allowed to talk about. You may even have some of that stuff in your tackle box, but well, what's the latest and greatest? I know you talked about the Swamp Lord. Why the heck is that frog so good?
Man, the body and the hooks and the way it floats. I mean, it's just, they've really done well with that as far as the overall. I really like how soft it is. You get really great hookups, and they got some, Fusion 19 hooks are so strong. But yeah, it's just it goes through the water so gracefully. But you may want to stay tuned. They may be something frog wise coming. I don't want to say too much, but I don't know. I may have seen something. Let me think. Yeah, wait a minute. I might did. Yeah. So you guys may want to stay tuned and be looking out for something with Swamp Lord. Man, it's phenomenal. Phenomenal. I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Is it a new bait or what do we got?
Hey man, look, I probably said too much already, but just be excited that something's coming out with Swamp Lord type stuff.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. You got me wondering now. We were just working with Bobby Lane up at Champlain, and he was busting them on the Swamp Lord. And I'm curious, man.
I hope I didn't say too much, but man,
you didn't say anything. You left us wondering, so you're good.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost speak. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's so good. So.
Well, Rich, we get that. They didn't give us a sneak peek of that last week.
I guess they knew we wouldn't have been able to keep it a secret.
Hold on. Let me show you. Hold on. Let me show you. Oh, wait a minute. That's just the regular popping. That's the regular popping one. I thought I could show you, but I can't. Never mind.
Well, you got to when it comes out, you got to let us know, man.
For sure.
Well, it's I want to let you go. We can keep talking about shallow water fishing. It seems like forever, but I know you're in the middle of a derby and want to get you back practicing so you can take a swing at this one, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. We're gonna go look around some more and see what we can figure out, and hopefully we can get it done this week. It ought to be fun one.
Yeah, all right. How about you go get that big trophy, and then you come back on and tell us how you did it.
Send us any pictures you have of reptiles and any kind of off species that make their way into the boat. We'll be interested to hear. We may have a prop bet going on for off species that end up in Keith's boat this week. So.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Well,
thanks, Keith.
I know you're not as graceful as me, but try to stay in the boat when you're digging in those backwaters.
Man, listen. I'm gonna make sure my trolling motor cable's good and strong, and when I pull it up, it's gonna. That's funny.
You might want to hit that with a little lube right there down there to
Lube it up.
to help you out. Well, hey, stay in the boat, stay away from the snakes, go crush them. And thanks, man. Appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Enjoyed it.
All right. Keith Poche, everybody. Man, what a cool deal, Rich. I love that philosophy that here's what I am. I'm doing this.
Right.
This is my strength, and I'm going to put my strength up against your strength.
Yeah, for sure.
We see John Cox doing it. We were talking to Bobby Lane about it this past week, and Chris Lane, you know, they're making some adjustments and focusing on their strengths. And such a key way to be successful in this sport. There's a lot of ways to do it, but
it definitely is. I mean, that process of like learning who you are as an angler, you know, like that obviously is something that just keeps going on and on and on forever for as long as you fish. But like, you know, it goes without being said that the longer you do it, the more you hone that in and fine tune what you're doing and kind of, you know, understand what your best route is to have your best finishes. And it's a different process for everybody, but we've talked about it a bunch. And I actually, in this second segment, I got a little something to share right along those lines with it as well for, you know, that process of like figuring out who you are as a fisherman.
Well, let's take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
Whatever your strengths are, you put some thump gel on it. And we're going to take a quick commercial break as Rich gets that set up, and we'll be back. We got a lot to talk about, including Rich doubled down. We didn't get a chance to talk about this on the show with 2 month wins on the Chesapeake this past weekend, or the previous past
2 weekends ago. But yeah.
And I want to talk about that. That was amazing. You and Justin both together. And we got maybe Justin coming on from Thousand Islands. Hopefully we can connect with him. So we're going to take this quick break. We'll be right back and we'll catch up.
Sounds good.
We're off the clock to clock more fish, to fill our live wells and empty our coolers, because there's more to explore. The latest Humminbird fish finders work fast, see clearly, and know all the best spots. They fish even smarter paired with the Minn Kota and break down the water like never before. If you like your plans loose and lines tight, then it's time to explore. Only with Humminbird. Get right to the fight. New Mega Live 2 forward-facing sonar puts you on more fish with an ultra-clear, rock-solid picture of underwater action. Next-gen clarity, next-level fun. Only with Humminbird.
Do you love bass fishing? Then you have to check out Bass University.
Access over 1,000 bass fishing seminars and episodes.
Get discounts on the tackle from your favorite tackle brand.
Learn the latest techniques from the top pros.
And never stop learning. And never stop learning.
And never, ever stop learning. Welcome to the Bass University.
Welcome to Bass University.
Welcome to Bass University.
Welcome to the Bass University.
Welcome to Bass University.
The original Element rods were really Cashion's first launch, kind of in a price point level. With that, we got a lot of feedback.
And that's what brought about the Element Z2 and its launch. The most affordable American-made rod on the market.
Mother Nature may be tough. I'm tougher. I'll take you where chaos is the cost of entry and where the fish are worth the fight. Because the bigger the question marks, the better the quest.
Welcome back to Bass University Live. I'm here with back-to-back Chesapeake champion Rich Leadbeater. Holy crap, dude! You had a nice run there right before we headed to Champlain.
Yeah, it was good, man. kind of just stayed loose and fished. And actually, I see Justin on here, so I'm going to bring him in because he was with me. JH, what a day!
JH, there he is. The dynamic duo, I guess let's call them. Crushed a 23-pound bag together at the Chester County to win that tournament. Yeah, that was pretty awesome event.
Yeah, it looks like our boys got a made minor connection there, but we're good. I think we got him now. Yeah, Pete, it was good, man. You know, I don't think either Justin or myself had any clue that it was going to go down that way. Well, no, I'll be honest, we had no clue. I don't think we launched the boat that morning with any expectations of that happening. But it was just kind of one of those days that it just materialized. And I think the fact that we really were not on anything is what led us to doing, you know, what we did. And it unfolded the way a team tournament is supposed to unfold, as far as, you know, the right ones getting in the boat throughout the day, with, you know, adjustments being made. It just flowed, man. It was one of those days.
That's awesome. Justin, you're in paradise up there. It looks like you have a 1 in a million. There's our boy Jared. 1 in a million. Look at it. It's like glass. Are you kidding me? That never happened up there.
It's been glass for 3 days, Pete. And yesterday we were running 75 miles an hour across Lake Ontario. You know how many times you're allowed to do that in a year? Probably a whole 5 times in a whole year you get to be able to run that fast across Ontario.
That is amazing. That's I know the bass are spawning up there. Of course, you sent us some awesome images and some videos, but with that lack of wind, man, that's really got to make it fun to be able to see those fish.
Yeah, the lack of sun today is hurting a little bit, but yeah, I mean they're just spawning all over the place. It's madness.
How are you guys liking the flogging approach? Are you having the flog, or can you see them?
We're a little bit of both. You can see the setup kind of right there with the life jacket and and the flogger, but yeah, it's, you know, in the deeper water, it seems like the bigger ones are a little bit deeper, so you definitely got a flog. But no, it's fun, man. You know, I mean, shoot, I've caught my 2 biggest fish so far this week on straight 20-pound tests, jig rod, just letting them have it, man.
That's awesome. We saw you sent a video where they were spawning in 20 feet. A lot of people might, I mean, I'm still blown away. I know they do it, and it still freaks me out every time that they spawn 20 feet of water.
That was we got some cool videos sticking the camera in that we just did 2 minutes ago before I hopped on, me catching like a 4-pounder. He threw the phone in there and in the flogger and got a cool video of it. But yeah, there's that video I sent you guys yesterday was or 2 days ago. That was in about 20 foot, and that one, it was a male and a female. They were doing the deed just on the bed, one touch of bait. You know, you could put a bait right in the middle, they wouldn't even look at it. They were getting after it, and the one was absolutely giant. But yeah, man.
What have you either one of you guys, are you on the hunt for your PB, or have you gotten close to it?
I broke mine the first day. And I don't think Jared's is a 6. We haven't got one over 6 yet. We've gotten 3 or 4 that were like between 5'10" and 5'13", 5'14", you know?
Wow.
But we haven't gotten that 6. That's what I'm on the hunt for right now. I'm passing up a lot of 3s and 4s right now to look for that 6.
Oof. Tough to do.
I don't know that I'd be passing them up, Rich.
Nah, I wouldn't either. Catch every one of them.
You gotta. There's a lot of pressure here right now. I'll say that. There's, you know, in the most obvious spawning areas, you know, I can see. I'm sticking the flogger underwater and I'm seeing 20 guys drop shots and everything like that. Jared is just absolutely eating up rocks right now. If you can't tell, the boat's shaking. But yeah, there's a lot of fishing pressure. We probably lost our biggest one of the trip. We lost him 3 times yesterday.
Oh gosh.
He came off 3 times at the boat.
Wow. So they're getting some fishing pressure, so it's not as automatic as smallmouth can be, is what I'm hearing. Like you got to work them.
Some of them are. You know, you'll see a bed and you don't see a fish on. You'll throw your jig up there, and you know, as soon as it hits the water, it's swimming off with it. But then there's some that if you're not putting it in front of his nose and tickling his whiskers, he ain't biting it.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, that was the experience that we had when we were up there for a regional. It was either the 3rd week of June or the last week of June, and it was like you could get almost all of them to bite if they were on bed, but a lot of them you had to be on the pebble to get them to go. And like once you found that magic spot, it was
don't eat it. Yeah.
But
yeah.
And
it's tough too. I mean, it seems like if you can throw a lighter Ned rig in the stuff, like you cast way past it in the current and let that thing glide. If you make the right cast to where it glides right past the bed, they'll come out and grab it.
Right.
But you throw a half-ounce drop shot in there and just wiggle in front of its face, it won't touch it. But every fish is different. It seems like, you know. We spent a lot of time yesterday looking for a good jerk bait or hair jig bite, and it just wasn't happening for us.
What parts of the system have you guys explored?
So we fished around Galoo Island a lot yesterday, and there's a lot of big fish there, but there's a ton of boats. Is my connection all right?
Yeah, you're good.
Yep.
And today we're back in Clayton, just fishing, some of the flats on Clayton and stuff like that. Jared's about to flog one for us here live, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, there's you can catch them from anywhere from 3 to 4 foot to 25 foot on beds.
Nice.
With the conditions that we have, it's a little bit more difficult today without the sun, but yeah, it's they're all over the place.
That's very cool. And you're not allowed to go into Canada this time of year, right? That season.
Canada's off limits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys explored Chameau Bay? Or are you guys going to go look at that while you're there?
Let me open up the Humminbird here. We're the Humminbird, the Solix units have been coming into play for your boys this week. Chameau Bay.
Yeah, it's out on the main lake. It's just one of the major bays, and
it's all in Ontario.
Experience, but it's my understanding that it's one of the premier spawning coves. Like they migrate into there to spawn.
I don't think we hit that yesterday. I wish you would have told me that. We would have hit it.
Well, dude, it's like Chameau Bay requires a day. It's huge.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like
even Galoo Islands, and that's a whole day just to fish that stuff.
Yeah, but that must have been spectacular being out in the middle of Lake Ontario.
It was so cool.
That's amazing. A lot of boats out there this time of year. That's surprising to hear. I guess not.
Yeah.
It's just opened and everybody's excited.
Sunday was a madhouse here. There was just boats all over the place. But today and yesterday hasn't been as bad. But I mean, still, around the islands there was, 30 boats on a Monday.
Yeah.
On the Galoo Islands, but there was 5-pounders all over the place.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. Well, you guys are living the dream up there. But you had a great tournament, and you caught some. You and Rich split those fish up when you guys won. What's the celebration like? You guys started putting the hammer down. What was that like?
I would say it was more like I can't believe that we just caught a bag right now.
You were
all going on.
Yeah, we were pretty subdued, honestly. And I think part of it was because It was typical flats fishing, Pete. And what I mean by that is we got into an area and there really wasn't many other people at all, like two other boats. And by the time we started piecing things together, there was 20 boats behind us. And that, like, talking about the fishing and kind of the strategy a little bit, like, I'm not the person to teach here or to teach, but I'll reflect kind of what our process was that on the bay, like, it's no secret that when the bent rod deal starts happening, boats collapse on areas. It's natural, right? Yeah. We've learned it from many other guys, many other winds. I can remember a Scott Martin scenario on the Potomac River fishing the perimeter of a fleet. Yeah. Well, what we did was we played pace car in front of, we had 30 boats behind us, 0 boats in front of us, going into the tide, working this way. So every part of the scrape that we were running, we were to a large extent showing the fish our baits first. I didn't care how many people were behind us. We had nobody in front of us. And so our celebrations, there wasn't much sound. We were fired up, you know, we were dapping up, but we weren't audibly celebrating.
Yeah, the last one we had a couple little squeals came out of me, but that was that much, man. I'm not a loud person as is. So
yeah, well, the last big one we definitely squealed a little bit because there was a thought at first that it was a buffalo carp that was the net.
Yeah.
Big. Yeah. That was like the 5.5 pounder or one of your 5 pounders, right?
It was one of the 5.5s, and we don't know where this fish came from, but it wasn't sitting on that clump of grass. Justin caught it off for very long.
No.
Oh man. Well, hey, that was great. That was a great deal. You won on that Sunday, Rich, and then Justin, you went on to win a Thursday nighter.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are like rolling.
Yeah, rolling, and then was rolling. Then we rolled north. Yeah.
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
But yeah, they were starting to eat. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's great stuff. Is Jared there? Can Jared talk a little bit?
Yeah, he can talk. Let's see if I can flip this camera around. I turned it off. You'd think me being the producer, I can't flip the camera, but we'll get him. He's got the flogger in hand right now. Look at him.
Right. Bass Test Sonar. Jared, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, Pete? What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
We're just out here flogging away, man.
I got to ask you a couple questions, Jared. How difficult is it to get Justin out of the bed in the morning?
I think he slept till like 9:30 today.
Oh my! Don't even get started. This guy was up all night with little belly aches, and that's why we didn't get out in the water until 9:45.
Oh man, I was hurting. I think I ate something bad or something yesterday.
He's drinking too many IPAs. That's what he's doing. He's pulling a Jeff Olson.
He's on the Jeff Olson IPA program. I see.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
I see. That's good. I know. Well, you guys are getting along, having fun. I mean, is this your first time flogging, Jared? Have you ever done this before?
This is my first time flogging and my first time here.
It's all right. Get first impressions, man. What tell me about
it. It's big. It's a little overwhelming when you first get here. I mean, like when we put the boat in the water, I really, I was so overwhelmed I didn't know where to go first, you know. And plus there was so much boat traffic out here when we first got here. We couldn't even do 30 miles an hour without, you know, whacking a swell or something really hard. But our backs are a little banged up today, obviously. But I mean, I love the place. It's like it is definitely Disneyland.
It is. It's beautiful, and I guess the boat pressure. Everybody's so excited, waiting for that season to open, and opportunity to catch the biggest fish of the year. I get it. People are probably traveling from all over the country to get there, just like you guys are.
Yeah, there's people from all over. We've seen license plates from everywhere up here today.
Anything strike you? Like anybody long distance drivers?
We saw Florida and South Carolina.
Yeah, we saw a couple before.
Yeah. Florida and South Carolina was probably the furthest south.
Wow.
The ones that we've seen.
Well, that's pretty amazing. We hope to get up there again real soon. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. The flogging's working out. Hopefully you guys can continue to catch them. What is your personal best? I know you had a blast catching big smallmouth at Oneida, but have you passed your?
I had a 6.2. Not yet. I'm working on it. I'm planning on it by tomorrow. I'm gonna crack that. But I had a 6.2 at Oneida, so we'll see.
You had a 6.2 there or at Oneida?
At Oneida.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a monster for Oneida, man. It
was my first catch of the trip. I had a 6.2. I mean, everything after that was just peanuts,
Yep. Well, hey, that's awesome. And Jared, thanks for being part of Backwater University. You've been with us for a long time, and I appreciate you being part of the program.
Pete, I'll tell you, everything I learned fishing, I learned it from you guys. It's just opened so many doors for me. It's incredible. So I appreciate you guys too.
Well, I've seen you develop from guys. You've become quite a talented angler. So congrats to you for putting the work in and getting it done. And now you're on Disneyland and you get to put all that experience to use, man. That's special.
Thanks, Pete.
Well, good deal, guys. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. And Justin, wait a second. I can't let you go yet.
All right, what's up?
Give you props for putting the beat down on fantasy fishing. I started out with a good number on day one, but all my boys kind of fell off. And man, I don't think that on fantasy now. I think you got this one.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty stoked to hang up that $10 bill when this is all said and done. Gonna hang it up right in the background in the studio / closet that I have.
Pod closet
at home. Yeah, the bass closet.
Well, maybe it'll go toward putting some new drop shot weights in the boat for you.
Yeah, no doubt. I just had one. The last one I caught, it ripped off my entire drop shot leader, like from the weight to the hook. There was nothing but the hook left on there. It slung the line, probably because I didn't retie. The bottom was all frayed, but I've been throwing the jig most of the time. Honestly.
Shocker.
Just 20-pound tests, just letting them. I put on fresh 20-pound tests for one of my setups on the bay. I wasn't going to strip off fresh fluoro. You know what I mean? They're still eating it with 20-pound tests on there.
You're going Jake Gluzek style. Is that with a Beast Coast?
Of course, open water sniper, man.
Heck yeah.
What I caught most of my fish on at Champlain, Pete.
It ain't no secret anymore, that jig.
No. Will they bite that? Well, heck, you saw I was using that when we were out on the point. Yeah, they were biting that sucker pretty good over the straight Ned. And are you seeing? Is that a better tool on the bed? You think?
It depends. Some of them want to eat down, and some of them want to eat eye level. It really depends on the fit. You can tell right away usually if you throw it in there and their tail's up in there. They're going to eat the jig. But I would say it's, I'm stubborn, so probably I could have caught just everyone on the drop shot, but I just like setting the hook hard up with a bait caster.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, go get your PB. Keep sending the pics. I don't want to hear complaining about my request. I'm like living through you guys because
yeah, I'll have to send you this video we just took. It was pretty sweet. It was pretty sweet through the flogger.
I want to see it. Check it
Yeah,
out. We'll put it up on social for you guys to take a look at. I love that flogger stuff, man. That was crazy looking at those bedders, man, down in 20.
It's been pretty cool.
Yep. Well, cool. We'll keep
putting
having
in
fun.
Jared. He was supposed to catch one on camera.
Who is?
Jared was supposed to catch one on camera for you guys, but he failed that mission.
You know how it is, man. As soon as the camera starts rolling, the fish stop biting. You know how that is.
I know it.
Well,
I know it.
Send us a video. Have fun. Be safe, and we'll see you when you guys get home.
All right, 10-4, guys.
Fun, guys.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Yeah. So Pete, go ahead with what you were gonna say.
No, I just was commenting. What a cool trip, man. Being up there and having a couple days in a row with no wind. That's a dream.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. The one thing that I wanted to piggyback on as far as like the tournament stuff goes, and it kind of relates back to what Keith was saying, or what we were talking about with Keith as far as like knowing your strengths and knowing how to put yourself in the best position to succeed. I would strongly encourage all of our watchers, our listeners, our subscribers, anybody that, competes in tournament fishing, you got to really understand whether you hate to lose more or you love to win more. Because when you wrestle in between those two things, you can it's like you're in purgatory. And like, there's a long-standing saying like, oh, great competitors hate to lose more than they love to win. I don't know. I don't know if that's always the case. And it's just food for thought for our Bass U guys. If you're a competitor, give that some thought on whether you hate to lose more than you love to win, or you love to win so you're not afraid to lose or to fail. And I would like to get the answers to that. That might be a media day question for me next year. With a lot of the high level anglers, is try to get inside their heads with that, because everybody has a different stance on that. And I think when you start to understand that, you can shift the way you look at things as far as fishing goes.
I think you make a good point, Rich, because you're making me question, where's my head with it? And when Jake and I were competing this Saturday, and we did kind of poorly. We finished middle of the pack, and we did it because we never stopped trying to win. Right. We could have laid up. We could have done some things to put a few more pounds in the boat, but we and that happens in tournament fishing a lot more, really, kind of other sports. And I think it really a lot of that depends on your situation. Like in the particular tournament that we just it was a pot tournament for us. We just cherry picked it, and there's no points. There's no ramifications to doing poorly other than, your ego gets hurt. But, that's a winner take all. And, when you're fishing a winner take all, you may make some decisions differently than maybe when you're trying to qualify for a classic or you're trying to qualify for the elites. There are times when you do have to lay up, and you've got to make sure that every ounce is coming in the boat that you need.
Yeah. So, I think even that would vary from person to person. And like, I can hear Polinick saying it in one of his seminars with us, is that he doesn't pay attention to points. He truly goes out to try to fish to win every time. And in that process, through trying to fish to win, even when he falls short, it would be a layup for somebody else, if that makes sense. Like his way of laying up is by trying to win. And if he doesn't, it still ends up being a layup. But that answer wouldn't be the same for other people. You know, it's different, and that's why I feel like it's good food for thought for our listeners and our viewers to think about that.
The purity of Brandon's thought is great, but I remember moments where I'm on a school of fish and I'm culling for ounces, and I make the choice to stay,
right?
Because the philosophy of never leave feeding fish. The situation was such that I felt that it was better for me to stay. And then I've been in the same exact scenario where I've left it and made the, swung for the bleachers, attempted to, put myself in a better position. So, it's situational for me at times, for some at times, for others, it's like you said, it's man swinging for those bleachers out of the gate every time, all the time. And, with that, you're potentially going to have some big failures, and that's part of the game. Interesting concept, though, Rich. Like it, love it, love that kind of talk. But I just want to do a little show and tell, man, real quick. Check this out. I got this is my Father's Day gift.
Nice.
I got this cool glide. Hey, Jocelyn.
Thanks for the warning.
Love it. I figured the time was now.
Yep. I got a Great Lakes Finesse minnow bait. I got Aaron's Morning Dawn. Shout out to Aaron Martins, buddy. You're always in our thoughts and prayers and thinking about you, thinking about your family. And we got a 6 cents crankbait. Looks a lot like a wiggle wart.
Nice.
Wiggle wart.
Thank you, Jake. Those are my Father's Day gifts.
Awesome.
Did you have a nice Father's Day with your dad, Jocelyn?
Sure did. Made him some steak.
What's your dad's steak of choice?
He likes a porterhouse.
Porterhouse. Well, who doesn't like a porterhouse? Did you cook it for him, or does he cook his own steaks?
We cooked it for him.
Nice.
And he said it was amazing.
Is he a medium?
He's a medium. Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Well, that's
nice job.
Yeah. Thanks. That is very nice. We have what's happening at Bass U right now? What is our promotion right now, Jocelyn?
We have an AFCO branded Bass U sun shirt with some AFCO gloves, a Bass U face shield. But it is running out. So if you aren't signed up, you might want to sign up before they're all out.
I tell you, I made the transition this year away from sunscreen, and I'm using that AFCO gear, and I love it.
You haven't gotten burnt?
No. Sort of. I look a little sunburned right now, maybe, but but I'm being persistent with it. I like it a lot better than putting the chemicals on all the time. That sun gear is awesome, and we've got you taken care of for guys coming over to subscribe with us. So come on over and check it out, guys.
It's a great shirt.
It is a great shirt. I'm looking forward to receiving mine, because we don't have the custom Bass U stuff yet. The customers are coming before we do, Jocelyn, which as it should be.
That's true.
As it should be. What is your world, Jocelyn?
Oh, my dog. Sorry.
Jocelyn's dog is saying sign up for the Pro-Am if you haven't already. The Lake Foundation Pro-Am is this Saturday. There's still time to sign up.
There is.
Don't wait. Do it. And
do it now.
Chance to win a Bass Cat boat. You don't get many chances like that in our part of the world. So get signed up. All the proceeds go towards getting kids involved in fishing. And that is a really good thing. Getting fishing rods in kids' hands is something that truly matters in this whole fishing thing that we do. So
you just took some kids out, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yep. So I've continued along the pledge, take kids fishing. I I had out yesterday. I had out, it's been a blur. Sunday, I had out Drew and Braden out on Conowingo Reservoir. Drew in the high school division came in 3rd place, and Braden in the junior high division came in 2nd place. Great tournament by the guys. They caught all their fish on a technique that they had never fished before. I had them throwing a Ned rig up on transition banks, going from spawning areas into current related areas. And honestly, the Humminbird VX chip, the Mid-Atlantic chip was primo. I've only ever fished that place in the fall, never been there in the spring, haven't seen it all year. And we, as a team, we formulated a game plan on the section we wanted to be in the lake based on what it had to offer as far as spawning flats and feeding opportunity areas. And we picked a few areas to check in the morning, and the 3rd stop of the morning produced, and they proceeded to reel them in all day. So great job to the boys on another strong finish in the high school junior Upper Bay Bassin Club.
That's awesome.
And great job by Captain Rich. Jocelyn, what do you think? He's on a run. Captain Rich has got 2 wins in a row. Is he going to make it 3 this Saturday?
We'll see. We'll see.
Yep. we will see.
Are you fishing with your dad?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Yeah, my dad. That's kind of our Father's Day deal.
Awesome.
I saw him on Saturday, but when I picked my dog up Saturday afternoon, but he's going to come down here Thursday evening with me and jump in the night tournament out on the Chesapeake, and then be right back down here Saturday morning. Hopefully, we can have him dialed in.
Get some practice.
Yep, put a couple of the right ones in the boat, but we're just gonna stay loose and keep going fishing. That's all you can do.
Great.
I want to wish best of luck to Jake and Max, who are going to be competing for the state championship on Sunday.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And last year they won it by 100th of a pound. Come on in. And it just got home from school. His last day of school.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
It's
no
summertime.
more school. All bass fishing. Let's go.
I'm excited, dude. I'm about to go fishing every day.
Dude,
Bass fishing and wrestling. That's what Mount Laurel does.
So how you
That's
feeling?
what the Gluzak family does.
You and Max you guys both got a little bit of practice up at Manasquan. How you feeling about the Derby coming up on Sunday?
Feel really good. I'm really excited for it. It could go any way. We got a tournament day before ours, so
a lot of fishing pressure. The 5 Alive guys are going to be on the water.
It's going to get drained of fish. So we're going to be picking up scraps is what it's going to be. So we'll just see what we can do, work with what we got, have some fun.
Yeah.
As always.
Maybe the bass will hide and come out for you on Sunday.
Okay, well.
We'll leave you in charge. Tell them, Josh.
Okay.
On Saturday, bite on Sunday.
Exactly.
That's your job. Okay.
You guys just fish your fish, Jake. You'll be just fine.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're excited for that. And, they got some tough competition. The guys, some of the guys did really well there last year at Manasquan and had a 20-pound bag. Vegas had a really big bag there last year as well. So there's big fish at Manasquan. Let's some giant ones. Giants. It's fishing really good this year. It's really good lake. So we're excited about that on Sunday.
Well,
you're no longer a sophomore. You're a junior. A junior in high school now.
Wow.
Finish up 2 more years and I'm out.
Yeah.
Then I'm out.
2 more years. Pete, what are you feeding this kid? Nails?
Oh, man.
Looks like he's ready to step into the octagon.
I got to give Jake some props, man. He works hard at fishing. He works just as hard at wrestling.
Awesome.
And training. If we could just get him to prioritize his sleep over video games, then we've done something.
Well, it's been like 2 days, bro. I've been
It's summertime.
Yeah.
Exactly. Summertime.
There
I
you
can
go.
Stay up, play some games.
Yep. Well, it's good. It's good to have you hang out with us, Jake. Absolutely. And you too, Josh and Rich. And thank you to Keith Poche.
Yeah.
And thank you to Justin and Jared for coming in and hanging out with us. And man, it would be awesome. This would be awesome. Next Tuesday, Rich, I want you to be holding up the foundation trophy. Keith's going to be calling us back with the James River trophy. Jake, you're going to be visiting us with the state championship trophy.
Hopefully.
Let's have that show next Tuesday.
Let's have that.
Let's have that show. Let's have that show.
I'd like that.
Have that show.
But guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you being part of Bass University. Get yourself signed up if you haven't already. Great AFTCO gear out there. And we will catch up with everybody next week, next Tuesday, with another edition of Bass University Live. Have a great day, everybody. Ooh.